Gyeongseong Creature Episode 7 begins with Chaeok walking through the creature's carnage, her mother's carnage. Taesang walks in and he's in a bad, bloody state. Tentacles flow out of his back and stab into Chaeok. But it's only a dream and she suddenly wakes up. She's in a room on her own but clearly not in the hospital. A flashback shows Chaeok leaving the hospital, looking back at Taesang. In reality, Taesang seems to be lying on a pile of bones. 16 hours earlier, Taesang and group get ready for their escape. They use bedsheets to form a rope and start leading people out the window. Taesang tells Chaeok to stand in line, but she refuses. She straight up asks if he has feelings for her, which he dismisses, but not convincingly. Suddenly, a soldier enters the room and the Korean soldier, Choi Young-won, shoots him dead. The sound alerts the other soldiers. Despite Taesang's protests, he and Chaeok create a barricade and decide to hold off the soldiers while the others escape. Young-won joins them. Sergeant Hanada and his soldiers arrive and the shootout begins. Elsewhere, Ishikawa asks Ichiro what is happening in his hospital. Ichiro insinuates that Lady Maeda knows what's happening. He also says that no Korean will be allowed to leave, not even Ishikawa's woman. Taesang is grazed by a bullet, but Young-won is in a worse state and bleeding out profusely. Chaeok tries to pull him to safety, but he gives her a memento for his mother and soon passes away. Taesang tells Chaeok it's not her fault. Once again, Taesang reiterates his insistence on surviving this ordeal. All the prisoners have gone and Chaeok starts her descent. Before she does, Taesang holds her hand briefly. Once she's gone, Taesang tells In-hyuk that one of them has to stay behind. Hanada receives orders to capture the Koreans alive, but having lost his own men to them, he refuses. In-hyuk comes down, but after he does, the rope is dropped to the ground. The window closes. Taesang is staying behind to distract the officers and give them more time. Chaeok can't believe it and wants to go back, but all of the other lives at stake convince her to leave. Manager Gu also tears up as he starts up the car. Hanada orders his men to kill the Koreans anyway. They rush into the hallway where Taesang single-handedly fights back, getting gravely injured in the process. He soon runs out of bullets. Ishikawa exits the building and the trucks follow him out, including Gu's car. Taesang is back in the vents, but it doesn't take long for Hanada to send soldiers there. While running for his life, Taesang falls down an open chute that drops him into a room full of bones. Elsewhere, Nawal is selling one of the pawnshop's prized possessions. Juntaek's father is waiting on the street in his car when a vehicle drops someone off. It's Juntaek, tied up and begging for mercy. Nawal is in a rickshaw nearby and nods at Juntaek. The truck with the prisoners drops Myeongja off and Ishikawa gets out of his car to receive her. She hugs him, but he tells her she should have a bath first. At the hospital, Ichiro finds that Myeongja is gone. The remaining soldiers tell him and Kato that they were betrayed by Mr. Soma, the man who made a deal with Taesang. Kato also notices that the water in the cup on his desk is gone. Only 4 people could have had it: Chaeok, Taesang, Myeongja, or Mr. Soma. Taesang wakes up in the room of bones, but immediately finds himself facing Hanada, who is holding a gun to his head. We hear gunshots, but we don't see exactly what happens then. Manager Gu tries to lose the other police truck following him, but it proves difficult. Ultimately, the police truck gets stuck in a crowd of people dancing on the street. So this is why the gramophone was set up. Youngchun announces to the crowd that the food and drinks are for free, sponsored by Jang Taesang. The police truck goes the round way and ends up stopping in front of Gu's car. But when they check his truck, it is empty. A flashback shows that all the prisoners were given clothes by Taesang's tailor. They changed and exited the truck as regular citizens. At the back of a tailor's shop, Nawal was waiting with a long line of rickshaws. In Hyuk informed Nawal that Taesang didn't make it out. When In Hyuk asks if this was the plan from the start, Nawal repeats the statement of Taesang being the go-to person for anything in Banjong. Nevertheless, the policemen arrest Gu and raid the partygoers, searching for the prisoners. The rickshaws slip through the chaos. Chaeoke and her father are in one of them, and she notices that the cherry blossoms are finally falling. Lady Maeda is told that Ishikawa will not be coming home that night. In a house elsewhere, Ishikawa embraces Myongja once she's bathed and clean again. Ichiro deeply apologizes to Maeda, who was the one who built him the hospital in the first place. She tells him to step down. Trying to keep his position, he tells Maeda about the creature. She sees drawings of the monster along with Seishin's information. Turns out, Maeda was the one who asked Ichiro to keep an eye on Seishin all those years ago. At the moment, Seishin is sedated by nitrogen. Kato wonders who would have had the cup of water on his desk. Inside the room of bones, Hanadu seems to be dead, but Taesang is still alive, although injured and weak. While stumbling out of the place, he leaves a black color handprint on the wall. At a countryside house, Youngwon's mother finds her sewing machine returned with her son's memento tied to it. She holds it and cries. A mid-credit scene of Gyeongseong Creature Episode 7 shows the Nijin flowing under Myongja's skin. The episode review. This is the first Gyeongseong Creature episode that feels a tad slow in pace compared to the others. But this lag is well earned after 6 episodes of a fast-moving plot and allows for the emotional impact to settle in instead, particularly the significance of Taesang's sacrifice. If the previous episode shows Han So-hee's acting prowess, this one shines a light on Park Seo-joon, and does he deliver? That short speech about how he is determined to live was fantastic, and his parting look towards Chaeoke, the hand grab, was just a cherry on top. And it wasn't a lie either, since Taesang is still very much fighting to survive, as evident in Gyeongseong Creature Episode 7. All in all, Part 1 of Gyeongseong Creature comes to a satisfying close. It wraps up one chapter of the story, with a successful escape for the innocent prisoners, and gets Chaeoke and Jungwon out too. At the same time, there is plenty left to cover, like Seishin's fate, Taesang being trapped, and the arrival of a new monster. In fact, this makes me wonder if Part 2 will really cover all that it needs to. But so far the series has given us a thrilling and well-written story, so there's no reason to assume otherwise.